Welcome to the June 12, 2024 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 3:30 p.m. I will now call the meeting to order and take roll. And Director John DeMonico and Tom Howie and myself, President Harvey Luth, are present. And Mike Krieger and Sarah Ramos-Evinger are yet to attend. Board members, please make sure when you comment, your microphones are on. Remember to talk directly into the microphone. Closed session. The Board of Directors will meet in closed session to discuss the following item. 1, public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, titled Legal Counsel. Number 2, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, agency negotiators, special legal counsel John Paquette from Atkinson, Andelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo, Fire Chief Dave Williams, Human Resources Director Anthony Arroyo, and Finance Director Mark Shaker. Employee organizations, Chino Valley Professional Firefighters Local 3522 Safety Unit, Teamsters Local 1932 Non-Safety Unit, and unrepresented management, confidential, and part-time employees. Do we have any public comments on the closed session item?
We have no request to speak on closed session.
Thank you. I will now adjourn the open session to closed session. We will return to open session at 6 p.m. Welcome to the June 12, 2024 regular board meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 6 p.m. and we will now begin the meeting and take roll, and we are all present. Legal counsel, please report out a closed session.
Thank you, Board President. There's no reportable action out of either item this evening.
Thank you. If you'd all please stand and join me in the flag salute and remain standing for the invocation. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chaplain?
Hear me okay? Is it on?
Okay.
Well, welcome everybody, and let's pray. Father God, we thank you for your grace, your mercy, the great love that you've shown us. And we welcome you here, Lord, to lead us and guide us by your Spirit. I would like to pray for the Board of Directors, Lord, who will be making decisions concerning the Chino Valley Fire District. And we pray that you'd give them wisdom and discernment in doing so. I also want to lift up some of the people here that are for different recognitions and awards, for the Fire Inspector Recognition, Employee Service Awards, and some retiree recognition. And last of all, I want to pray for all first responders, especially our firefighters and paramedics that may be going out tonight. We pray that you'd be with them, that you'd bring them back safely, and we pray that you would help them to save lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, clerk of the board, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Good evening, President Luth. We have no changes to the agenda. Just want to note for everyone here that we do have 2 special presentations. Individuals who are receiving a 30 years of service and a retirement recognition. So we're going to combine those presentations, and when we call those individuals up, we'll do both. We will commence with our presentations and announcements, and our first presentation is Reserve Fire Inspector Recognition, and we would like to invite Juan Vega to please come forward.
This evening, Chino Valley Fire District would like to recognize and thank Juan Vega for his service with the Reserve Fire Inspector Program. Juan served as a Reserve Fire Inspector from August 2022 through June 2024. While in this position, he assisted the community risk reduction staff with inspections of construction sites, fire protection systems, business inspections, weed abatement, administrative duties, and public outreach events. Juan has accepted a position with the Alhambra Fire Department as a fire prevention specialist. Chino Valley Fire District and Community Risk Reduction would like to recognize and thank Juan for his dedicated service to the Reserve Fire Inspector Program. Juan is leaving us on a high note as today is his birthday. And he and his wife are expecting their first child later this year. We wish Juan all the best in his future endeavors.
Present this to one, we have a very long history here of bringing in folks, giving them some education and getting them some experience so they can go on to somewhere else and get some more training and then come back to us when you're ready to come back to us. And we appreciate all your hard work that you've done. I've seen you here day in, day out and doing all the work. So thank you to the CRR team for helping create one more opportunity for an individual to go out in the world and provide good service for the community. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Chief.
Next, we have the Employee Service Awards for 5 years of service, and we invite Tyler Heckbarth to please come forward.
Firefighter paramedic Tyler Hackbarth began his career with the fire district in 2019. He is currently assigned to Station 67 B Ship. Thank you, Tyler, for your 5 years of service to the fire districts, and congratulations.
So I got a pretty funny story about how Tyler and I have connected. So as you can see, he's a much bigger man than me. So every year we go do these physicals down at this place that we go get our medicals. And every year I go in there, even as an old guy, I always have the curling record. And I go in there one day and I'm like, where's my name? And it's been replaced by someone much bigger and much stronger. So Tyler, for the short time you've been here, you've given back a lot to our organization. You're a very bright man from what I understand. I don't get to work with you day in, day out, but your counterparts seem to think highly of you, so we're very, very happy to have you. And I always appreciate your positive attitude when I run into you. So,
Thanks, Chief.
Got it.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Next, for 5 years of service, we invite Gina Parlett.
Doesn't look like she's here, so we'll just go ahead and recognize you. Firefighter paramedic Gina Parlett began her career with the fire district in 2019. She is currently assigned to Station 63 C Ship. Thank you, Gina, for your 5 years of service to the fire district, and congratulations.
I actually would like to say a few words. Gina would probably be embarrassed if I said this, but for those of you that don't know Gina, she's our first female firefighter. We're very, very blessed to have her. She adds tremendous value to our organization. She's got a fairly young child. She's probably at home taking care of her much more important responsibilities. So we wish her, well so far in her 5 years, and we look forward for 25 more years.
Next, for 5 years of service, we invite Greg Sprang.
All right, firefighter paramedic Greg Sprang began his career with the fire district in 2019. He is currently assigned to Station 67 B Ship. Thank you, Greg, for your 5 years of service to the fire district, and congratulations.
So we're very, very fortunate. We keep getting to bring people over from other organizations, and when they get here, they come with a wealth of experience and continue to just give back to our organization to help us elevate it. Greg, again, I say this with everybody that comes up, but it's true. So thank you very much for your contribution, and we look forward for another 25.
Next, we have our Employee Service Award for 20 years of service, and we invite Mark Bozek.
Engineer Mark Bozek is being honored for his 20 years of dedicated service to the Chino Valley Fire District. Mark was promoted to engineer in 2017 and has shown remarkable commitment and leadership throughout his career. Mark is married to Colette, and together they have 3 children Kiara, who is 17 years old, Ashlyn, who is 15 years old, and Timmy, who is 13 years old. Both girls attend Upland High School, and Timmy attends Upland Junior High. The family currently resides in Upland. Mark has been president of the Fire Foundation for 15 years and an active member for 19 years. His contributions to the community include serving as a Fire Explorer advisor for the Fire Explorer program for 10 years and being a member of the Chino Valley Fire District Honor Guard since 2007. He has also been part of the Pipes and Drum Committee since its inception 7 years ago. Additionally, Mark has been a member of the Chino Valley Professional Firefighters Union board for 10 years and part of the Telestaff Committee for 7 years. His involvement in the hazmat team since 2012 further highlights his dedication to ensuring safety and preparedness. In his personal time, Mark enjoys vacation with his family, woodworking, working on his car, and tending to his lawn. It is said that his lawn is the best out there. Congratulations and thank you, Mark, for your 20 years of service with the district.
So as President Luke was sharing a little bit about Mark, Mark looks down at me and says about his lawn, true story. And Mark has that way of making you laugh. He has a way of engaging you that always makes you feel good. So for all the younger folks that are at our organization, if you want to continually check in to see what a good attitude is, Mark has it every day that he shows up. It's one thing to say that we have high standards here, and we do, and we have certain expectations of all of our employees, but as President Luth was reading through all Mark's bio, and you understand these other things that he does, the foundation president, sitting on the e-board for the length of time that he has, 10 and 15 years, that's very exceptional because it means that he has to take away more time from Colette and his children to come here to give back. So we couldn't do what we do at this organization without people like Mark. So Mark, thank you very much, and thank you for keeping everybody laughing.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Next, we're recognizing our 30 years of service, Employee Service Awards, and we invite up Engineer Jeff Taitula.
Engineer Jeff Taitula was hired as a firefighter by the Chino Valley Fire District in June 1994. Jeff's service to the district and community began in 1991 when he began volunteering for the Explorer program and then became a reserve firefighter. Jeff grew up in Chino and attended Don Lugo High School. He attended Mount San Antonio College Fire Technology program and graduated from Mount San Antonio Fire Academy. He completed his paramedic studies from Crafton Hills College in 2000. Jeff was promoted to firefighter paramedic in June 2000. He was certified as a paramedic preceptor and taught monthly CPR first aid classes to the community. He promoted to engineer in January 2011. Jeff has served on the CVPF Executive Board for over 17 years in various roles and is currently Vice President. Jeff also serves as Vice President of the Chino Valley Fire Foundation. He enjoys engaging with the community through the various events the foundation hosts, and he values the ability to assist families in the community that he grew up in. Jeff has been married to his wife Ellen for 22 years. He is a proud dad of their 2 sons, Kyle and Gavin. Jeff is currently assigned to Station 64B shift. Congratulations and thank you, Jeff, for your 30 years of service with the district.
So when I think of Jeff, the one word that comes to mind is leadership. You know, I got here about. I'll save that one for a beer. When I got here 16 years ago, Jeff was already here for 15 years, and our culture here is to try to engage off duty as much as we can, you know, outside of our normal work to give back to the community. And Jeff was the guy that I would get regular phone calls from to say, hey, are you coming to this event? So it's people like Jeff. I would venture a guess that everybody in this organization would say, yeah, Jeff could have been whatever he wanted to be here if we're talking about rank. But the point is his leadership goes well beyond that. There's tremendous amount of respect for Jeff. I believe everybody else that I know that works here has that same reverence for you. We appreciate your commitment to this place, and it wouldn't be here without people like you who have a commitment. Obviously, you grew up in this town, but you're vested, and we appreciate that, and thank you for everything you do.
Thanks, Chief.
Handing that to Jeff was like giving him a thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're recognizing for 30 years of service, Captain Richard Crampton.
Captain Rich Crampton was hired as a firefighter by the fire district in June of 1994. Rich and his wife Stacy reside in the city of Rancho Cucamonga and have 2 adult children, Cassidy and Connor. His daughter Cassidy is an investigator analyst for the U.S. Congress, holds a top secret security clearance, and lives in Washington, D.C. His son Connor is a LA City firefighter and assigned to Station 35 in Hollywood. Rich is a 1985 graduate from Chaffee High School. He attended Mount San Antonio College, completing his paramedic training in 1989 and the Fire Academy in 1991. In September of 1994, Rich was promoted to firefighter paramedic. He was promoted to engineer in 2008 and to captain in 2011. Rich is a hazardous materials specialist, a state certified fire officer, a rescue systems instructor, and a FEMA OES structural collapse technician. Rich has served on the facilities, equipment, and protective clothing committees. He is a district specialty team member serving on both the USAR and the hazmat team. He is also the fire district's museum coordinator. In his free time, Rich enjoys working on his home and cars, and most importantly, spending time with his family and friends. Rich is currently assigned to Medic Truck 61 C Shift. Congratulations, and thank you, Rich, for your 30 years of service with the district.
So it's always really important when you get into this business to try to find out what's important to you. How do you want to take the organization forward? And I know Rich, with 30 years on, probably doesn't have much time left in the organization. So for those of you younger people that are here that understand the contribution Rich has made in the way of our historical perspective, you don't get anywhere in an organization without understanding where you came from. Rich understands that very, very well. So for those community members who are here, if you ever want to take a visit over to Station 1, we have a little bit of a museum inside the front office there. Those didn't just appear there. They got there through a lot of hard work and doing some historical checking and gathering of those items to really show us where we came from. That wouldn't have happened in part without Rich, mostly because of Rich. So, Rich, we appreciate your contribution. We understand who we are a little bit better because of that. So we appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you, Chief. 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks. Got it.
Next, we're recognizing for 30 years of service, Captain Steve Tevis.
Captain Steve Tevis was hired as a firefighter by the Chino Valley Fire District in June of 1994. Steve and his wife, Dana, have been married for 32 years and have 2 children, Cole and Owen. They reside in Spring Branch, Texas. Steve has attended Mount San Antonio College and completed his fire science and paramedic studies in 1991. He was promoted to captain in March 2012 and is a hazmat specialist and a member of the hazmat team. In February 2014, Steve was diagnosed with kidney disease, but thankfully, Dana's cousin Katie donated kidney to Steve in 2016. In his free time, Steve enjoys spending time with his family, fishing, camping, and at the beach. Steve is currently assigned to Station 63 C Shift. Congratulations and thank you, Steve, for your 30 years of service with the district.
Again, it goes without saying, when we're getting to acknowledge folks, and in this case, we had several of them tonight for 30 years, you know, you look at a guy like Steve who's committed his whole professional career here. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your contributions. Again, most of you that got 30 years, you're probably close to leaving, and we're sort of sad to see all that happen, but we're excited. We know that you have a lot of good opportunities ahead of you, so congratulations, and we appreciate it.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Next, we're going to recognize our retirees. First is Alma Nielsen, who was unable to be here tonight. Although she could not be here, we want to recognize her.
Yes, Alma Nielsen was hired by the Chino Valley Fire District on April 14, 2003 as an auxiliary worker for emergency services. 3 months later, on July 2003, Alma was promoted to permit technician and was transferred to community risk reduction. In September 2014, she was promoted to administrative assistant and was transferred back to emergency services and support services. As an administrative assistant for emergency services and support services, Alma assists 3 deputy chiefs and also assists our suppressant personnel. She actively participates in many district-related events. Her involvement, whether it's assisting or spearheading the whole event itself, is truly uplifting. Alma's commitment extends beyond her role in the Chino Valley Fire District, as she is also an active member of the Chino Valley Fire Foundation as the secretary of the nonprofit organization. Alma currently resides in Newport Beach with her daughter and her daughter's fiance. Alma has been commuting to and from Idaho, which is her primary residence. She will retire in Idaho, where all 5 of her grandchildren and her husband reside. Congratulations on your retirement with the district.
Although Alma can't be here tonight, I think it's also critically important we have an opportunity to recognize the folks that are out on the engines and the trucks doing the work out in the community. But they can't get out there and do that work without the support behind the scenes. And in Alma's case, she served 3 deputy chiefs with all their administrative needs. And I can tell you, just serving one of those would be a challenge. Alma even took it a step further. She was a key player in our fire foundation. And so while many were going off on their weekends to do other things, she would be committed back here, whether we had Make a Child Smile or whatever. We had a luncheon for Alma today, and it was mentioned. I think it's really important to acknowledge once again that Alma was the one that would always show up early, participate in the event, and then when the event was over, it was time to clean up. Many people would scurry, and Alma would still be there till the lights were shut out. So, Alma, we appreciate your 25 years. 20, 25? 21? 21 years, and we wish you good luck in Idaho with Jim.
Next, we also wanted to honor the retirement recognition of engineer Scott Greer, and I believe he was unable to be with us tonight. We still want to recognize him.
Okay, Scott Greer has been a dedicated member of the Chino Valley Fire District since March 13, 1993, when he started as a reserve firefighter. He was officially hired as a firefighter on June 11, 1994. Scott currently resides in Stevensville, Montana, with his wife Becky and their 4 children, Tanner, Danica, Dawson, and Ray. Scott also graduated from Walnut High School in 1987 and went on to earn an AS degree in fire technology from Mount San Antonio College. He was promoted to engineer in February 2003. Throughout his career, Scott has demonstrated exceptional expertise, serving as an air monitor specialist on the hazmat team for over 20 years. His contributions to the district apparatus committee have been invaluable, particularly in the engineer testing process. In addition to his professional achievements, Scott enjoys working on his 20-acre ranch in Montana and spending quality time with his family. His dedication to both his career and his personal life reflects his commitment to excellence and community service. Thank you, Engineer Greer, for more than 30 years of service, and the Chino Valley Fire District wishes you the very best in your retirement.
Sometimes in your career you develop friendships that are even beyond the professional side. Scott and I are probably the only guys that can see eye to eye. Scott's really a real good personal friend of mine that I've developed over these several years. Many of the stories I won't be able to tell here. I'll have over a beer. But what I can tell you is if you're a community member here and you see our apparatus out and about, I always thought I was a guy that was pretty dialed and pretty clean. Scott takes it to a whole nother level. The reason a lot of our apparatus and our fire stations look the way they do is because Scott would bid in there and he would make sure that they were at his standard, which was a very high standard, but it really was a good reflection on our organization. Again, Scott was one of those guys that had many talents. He made decisions about what he wanted to do. He could have done anything he wanted in his career, and I think he did for himself. But what a phenomenal man, and we wish him well.
Next, we want to recognize the retirement of engineer Les Cass for 25 years.
So Engineer Les Cass was hired as a firefighter by the Chino Valley Fire District in December 1997. Les and his wife Amy reside in the city of Murrieta and have 2 children, Carson and Madison, both of who currently attend Idaho State University. Les grew up in the city of Covina and attended Mount San Antonio College Fire Technology program and graduated from Mount San Antonio Fire Academy. Les completed his paramedic studies at the Paramedic Training Institute. Shortly after pursuing his degree, Les was hired as a firefighter at the La Habra Heights Fire Department in 1993. In 1997, Les served as a reserve firefighter for the Chino Valley Fire District and was later recruited as a full-time firefighter. Les acted as an Explorer advisor for our Fire Explorer program and was part of the department softball team and member of the hazmat team. Les enjoys spending time with his family in the great outdoors and enjoys activities including hiking and fishing. Thank you, Engineer Cass, for 25 years of service, and the Chino Valley Fire District wishes you the very best in your retirement.
For those of you that are here that don't know Les was a salt of the earth kind of a guy. He's a guy that had his feet planted. And the one thing that I've always appreciated about Les is he's an OBS guy. You want the straight answer from his side of it, he's going to give it to you straight ahead. So I always appreciate that about Les. He's truly missed. I know that he's doing well where he's at, but I'll leave it at that, and we just wish him well.
Next honoree for 30 years of service and retirement recognition is Captain Mark Verini.
I got lots of things to. Bring it in, brother. I got lots of things to hand you. We'll just start with the axe, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Let's start right there.
Captain Mark Verini is a dedicated individual with a remarkable 30-year career at the Chino Valley Fire District. Mark currently resides in San Clemente with his loving wife, Elizabeth. Mark and his wife have 2 daughters, 23-year-old Olivia, who is currently a teacher in Arizona, and 18-year-old Ava, who will soon be attending San Diego State University. Mark's journey toward his successful career began with a strong focus on education. He attended Rio Hondo College to pursue a degree in fire science. Mark started his fire career at the Chino Valley Fire District. Shortly after earning his degree, he secured a position as a reserve firefighter in 1993. A year later, on June 11, 1994, Mark was officially hired as a full-time firefighter for the Chino Valley Fire District. He served as a firefighter for 8 years before being promoted to fire engineer in 2002. Also in 2002, Mark was recognized as the Firefighter of the Year. In 2012, he achieved the rank of fire captain. Mark's involvement with the district extends beyond his professional duties. He spent 5 years as a Fire Explorer advisor and managed fire extinguisher maintenance for all stations. He was the lead restorer for the antique Peter Persh fire engine, now on display at Station 63. His contributions include serving on the apparatus and historical committees, participating on the CVPF union board for 2 years, and being part of the negotiation team. Additionally, he oversaw fleet tire maintenance and managed the Knox Key programs. Beyond his professional life, Mark loves collecting and restoring old vehicles. He enjoys camping, spending time with his family and friends, and hanging out at the beach. Thank you, Captain Verini, for more than 30 years of service with the Chino Valley Fire District, and we wish you the very best in your retirement.
So what I have here is we're bringing back a tradition that we had in the past, and this is Mark's retirement badge, so I'd like to show it to you. So Mark will have that for the rest of his life, and I suppose until his children take it over. We have a nice plaque for him and his pin. I had the chance to meet Mark probably 30-something years ago. I used to go work out at a gym in Claremont, and Mark's brother and Mike used to go there. Mike didn't remember me. But I met Mark back then, and when I came to Chino Valley Fire, Mark was the first crew I was assigned to. And I always like to think of people and think about words that resonate. And for Mark, for me, it's if you were to look up the word man in the dictionary, you'd see a picture of Mark. I don't say that to slight his career as a fire captain, but it's even much more than that. He's a man. So when I don't even know what else to say. He's a man, he's a husband, he's committed. When Mark tells you something, it's flat out what it is. There's no gray area there. This is what it is. So Mark, your mentorship, your friendship, I appreciate you. We're sad to see you go. I hope we have more Marks coming behind you, because the world in general would be a better place with men like you. So appreciate you, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Picture, Chief?
You want Dave, picture? Don't leave me hanging here, man.
You're not quite the Viking like Jeff, but you're a man.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna set this down. Dave's gonna let me say a few words, because I'll chop somebody's head off, and I talk with my hands, I'm Italian. Everybody, first of all, I just want to thank the Chino Valley Fire District for giving me the opportunity to work here for the last 30 years. I have had an absolutely incredible career. I can't imagine working for a better department. This place is top-notch, and I can say that with all honesty, because I've spent 31 years here. This place is the best. To the citizens of Chino and Chino Hills, it has been my pleasure to serve you for these past 30 years. And to all the men and women of this department, man, it's been an honor and a privilege to work with each and every one of you. I'm gonna miss you guys terribly, more than I can ever tell you guys. And to my family, thank you for always understanding the demand of the job. Thank you for always being with all your love and support. And thank you for always being the biggest cheerleaders I've had, okay? And especially to my wife, Elizabeth. Elizabeth has been with me for 29 years of my 30-year career.
Oh my gosh.
All of the awards, all the promotions, this beautiful family would not exist without my wife, Elizabeth. She's always had my back. She's always been giving me her all of her love and support. And I know that for a fact, because today is our 25th wedding anniversary. Everyone's dream to be here in a boardroom on her 25th anniversary. Watching her husband literally get the axe. With that being said,
Oh my gosh.
Elizabeth,
Yeah, baby.
Lord brought me to you 25 years ago today, and I hope he sees fit to give us another 25. Happy 25th anniversary, babe. I love you. Wow. Follow that, Mark.
Mark, thank you for letting us do this. With that, we're going to take a short break for more pictures and some more. The public hearing for approving fiscal year 2024-25 original budget is now open.
The first item under public hearing is resolution number 2024-10, approving the fiscal year 2024-25 original budget. Purposes for the board to review, approve, and adopt resolution 2024-10, adopting the 24-25 budget. A report by Finance Director Mark Shaker.
Thank you. After all that excitement, let's talk about the fiscal year 25 budget. So the budget officially kicked off last December, the budget process. A number of study and review sessions were held in support of the budget compilation, including a budget workshop on May 29th at the training center. As documented in the budget, the district once again received recognition from the GFOA for both its award-winning annual budget as well as its comprehensive annual financial report. Actually, we received news today that our 2023 comprehensive annual financial report received the GFOA report award. I'd like to give a special thank you to the finance team, Don, Vicky, and Christine, for your continued efforts and support that make these awards possible, and also all of your involvement in the budget document itself. Our continued pursuit of these awards is evidence of the district's ongoing commitment to public trust and transparency, and reinforce our dedication to the district's core values of faithfulness, integrity, and excellence. I don't intend on going into great detail of the fiscal year 25 budget. A lot of the detail was covered in the workshop, but I can answer any questions you might have. Some highlights, the total revenues for the fiscal year 25 budget are approximately 59.9 million, with total expenditures at 60.8 million. In addition to revenues, a transfer from the capital replacement fund of about 2.1 million for the anticipated delivery of a new Pierce TDA, which results in a net surplus of just under 1.3 million. With that, I'll read the recommendation, which is for the board to approve and adopt resolution number 2024-10, adopting the 2024-25 original budget, which will go into effect July 1, 2024.
Okay, clerk of the board, do we have any public comments on this agenda item?
We have no written requests to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board on this item at this time? Seeing none.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. This is the time for the board to comment. Director DeMonico.
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Director Howie.
Yes, I also think it was very, very well done, and thank you, Mark. That's all.
Okay. Director Krieger.
Same, good job to the department.
Vice President Ramos Edinger.
No comment, but just thank you, everybody.
Yep, and I would concur. Thank you, Mark, and your staff for a job well done and for the presentation in the workshop. So obviously it went well. We don't have any questions. So at this time, I would like to request a motion.
Move to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Krieger, a second by Director DeMonico. All vote by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so we have, it carries 5-0. Public hearing for properties declared for weed abatement is now open.
The next item is properties declared for weed abatement, and the purpose is for the public to comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement. And the report today is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Good evening. I'm happy to pinch hit for Fire Marshal O'Toole. She wasn't able to join us this evening. If you recall, at the April meeting, the board adopted Resolution 2024-06, allowing for any properties within the district to be noticed regarding weed abatement. Our spring inspections commenced in early May, and following the inspections, property owners that were found to be in violation were sent a notice to destroy weeds. The deadline to comply, by the way, is today, June 12th. The notice outlined the violation, the reinspection date, and the penalties for failing to take action, which include an administrative citation and abatement by our private contractor. In accordance with our resolution, we're to hold a public hearing allowing property owners to address the board on this matter. It is, with that, it is recommended that the Board of Directors review public comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement and subsequent actions and charges, as well as make any rulings on any and all objections raised regarding the proposed removal of weeds and said charges. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Clerk of the board, do we have any public comments on this agenda item?
We have no written requests to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. This is time for the board to comment. Director DeMonico.
No comments.
Okay, Director Howie.
Yeah, just a quick question. Jeremy, it may not be fair to ask you, Danielle's not here, but In the last 2 years, we've had more significant rain than we've had in previous years. Have we had a major increase in the amount of workload that's caused the district or more notices and a lot more enforcement?
Yeah, great question, Director Howie, and you're correct. I can't answer with the specificity that Fire Marshal O'Toole will be able to answer with, but anecdotally, I could say, yes, we've had a lot more lake growth, we've had a lot more activity, and it's required a lot more from our citizens to comply. Obviously, our inspectors and our whole team in community risk reduction we do what we can to work with the property owners to get it abated.
Okay, Director Krieger.
No comments.
Vice President Ramos Evinger,
No comment.
and myself, no comments. So at this time, we look for a motion.
Motion to approve?
Okay, a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice President Ramos Evinger and a second by Director Howie. All, please vote. In favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item carries 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is public communication. This is the time and place for the general public to address the Board of Directors about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. The public may address items on the agenda at the time addressed by the board. Due to board policy and Brown Act requirements, action may not be taken on any issue not on the agenda. When you address the board, please state your name and address prior to making your remarks, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. I have one request to speak for Mr. Jimmy Gutierrez.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Jimmy Gutierrez. You can't hear me? My name is Jimmy Gutierrez. I reside here in Chino Hills in Oak Ridge Homeowners Association on Laredo Avenue. I'm also the president of the Homeowners Association. The first reason we're here is my wife and I, Ramona, just want to thank the district and compliment the district on all the great service you do for us. My wife likes to stop and talk to the fighters when they're out doing something and compliment them. She's done that for a long time. She just thinks they do a great job, and so do I. The second reason I'm here is I want to make a request that the district provide some guest speakers to a new group of residents from Chino Hills. I mean, they're existing people, but who they are presidents of the Homeowners Association from 8 of the homeowners associations here in Chino Hills. We want a speaker to speak to us on weed abatement and then one on emergency services. Our next meeting is going to be on August 7th. I don't know who to speak with, but I'm sure we can arrange that. I will say that our first meeting was with the Sheriff's Department, and they gave us a great presentation pertaining to burglaries, because there have been a lot of burglaries in the higher-end communities. So we had a good presentation, and we're working with them. We also had a great meeting this last week with the code enforcement officers of the city of Chino Hills and their assistant city managers. They really did a good job. They're great. And what I've learned is that a lot of the other presidents of homeowners association don't have a background in government and don't understand what the city does, what the fire department does, what the police department do. I mean, they just don't have a realization. And we came to the realization that if we had more input, we could probably interact better and also help our own communities better. So that was the reason for my request. Just tell me who to talk to, and I'll be happy to talk to them. Thank you so much.
Okay, Jimmy, if you could, I know everybody knows you, but if you could make sure and leave your contact information with our clerk, Angela, there, and then we'll have someone get in touch.
Angela, you have my information?
Thank you.
Okay. By the way, this is a very cozy place here. I feel like at home. There's so many Chino people here and so many wonderful staff that you have, like Angela and Rita. And then I see Anthony as well. I work with all of them very well. And of course, Art, he used to be my neighbor in Chino, and he was on the planning commission. And, you know, so we go back for a while. And Karen, of course, I remember her when she was an Explorer officer delivering documents from the police department to my office. Then she became the chief. Now she's on the council. Can you believe that? Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, Jimmy, how many years were you city attorney for the city of Chino?
45 years, and on the 14th of this month, I will have served the city 50 years. I started on June 14th, 1974, and I'm still serving the city of Chino.
So you know a couple things about water.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I've been doing with water and some other things, you know. Yeah. And of course, you, Tom, and
Yeah.
and all the rest of the board members, and Harvey. I remember going to the planning commission when you were the chairman of the planning commission, yeah. So you do a great job, and thank you all.
You bet.
Thank
you.
you, Jimmy.
That is the last written request that I have to speak. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board at this time? The next item on our agenda is liaison reports to the fire district. And we invite Mayor Pro Tem Karen Comstock.
Thank you, Angela. President Luce, board members, chief, command staff, and just want to say what a wonderful evening we had tonight in celebrating those retirements. It's always hard to see all that institutional knowledge, chief, walk out the door, but, you know, I want to thank you for just governing a really good fire district for us and for the service of these men. And, you know, that also creates opportunity, chief. It's a very exciting time for your department because it will create opportunity from your other members of your department to promote and lead the way. So congratulations. I just want to talk about some of the events that are happening in Chino over the next few weeks, starting with Chino Summer Nights and the Kiwanis Summer Concerts on the Lawn. We invite everyone to kick off the summer season with fun and family-friendly movies and concerts on the City Hall lawn. Starting this Friday, June 14th, bring the whole family for a movie under the stars during our Chino Summer Nights every Friday throughout June and July. This year's movie lineup includes Barbie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Lyle Crocodile, and more. Learn more by visiting thecityofchino.org/movies. I have to admit, I turned on Barbie to watch it a couple weeks ago. I couldn't, so. I do like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though. It's one of my nephew's favorites. The Chino's Kiwanis Club is also hosting free concerts on the City Hall lawn every Thursday evening from tomorrow, June 13th to July 26th. Bring your blankets, a lawn chair, and get ready to groove to some fantastic tunes. To learn more about this year's lineup, visit cityofchino.org/concerts or the Chino Kiwanis Club website at chinokiwanis.com. Go Skate Day. Attention Chino skaters, drop in at Ayala Skate Park for our annual Go Skate Day on Friday, June 21st from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Go Skate Day is a celebration of International Go Skateboarding Day and will feature great food, giveaways, competitions, and a beautiful summer afternoon of skateboarding fun. To learn more, call the Chino Community Services Parks and Recreation Department at 909-334-3257. If you've never visited the skate park in Chino, it's quite phenomenal. It's rated as one of the top in Southern California. We had people come from all over the place to visit. It's a really great park. Chino Fireworks Spectacular. And of course, summer in Chino would not be complete without our classic fireworks spectacular on June 28th and 29th at Ayala Park. Join us for a 2-day festival celebrating the spirit of Independence Day, featuring great food, carnival rides, exciting live performances, and one of the most spectacular fireworks shows in the region on Saturday, June 29th. This year's theme is a salute to our armed forces heroes. Mark your calendars and please join us for the fun. Visit cityofchino.org/CSPR to learn more. That concludes my comments tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait.
I got one. I was at the prison yesterday. I don't want to kind of bring this up every month, but I guess they're now at 46 condemned members, and I think their San Quentin's empty now, so they don't anticipate a whole lot more coming over. But I think the chief had mentioned that he was feeling a little better for the yard that they're in. Seemed to be a little more secure than the rest of the prison. Did you have any comment about that?
No.
Good. Good. So I'm glad I brought that up.
The only thing I will say is we had a workshop last night about, aviation support for the Chino Police Department. And there's, a law of timing in this. And the council directed staff to go out and do an RFP for specifically that helicopter, as well as some hangar space at the airport. And that's going to provide our community with just an extra level of support. If we were to, obviously we advanced that direction to staff last night, but that program would still be about 2 years out to get it up and running. But with what's happening over there and what's happening in our community at the local level and the surrounding areas around us, we're going to need that support. It's quite phenomenal what a tactical flight officer can do to provide support to first responders on the ground, not just police officers, but firefighters and everybody involved in mass casualty incidents or different things of that nature. If the city proceeds to pick up that entertainment venue down at El Prado Park, which we're working with the county supervisor on Live Nation, some of those large-scale incidents provide their own complicated series of problems with security and safety. And it's not like that institution is, free of its own incidents from riots to escapes, and their next incident is coming. And I'm hoping by the time it does come that we have those resources in place, as well as we've advanced purchase of a bloodhound for the city of Chino to be included in our canine cadre. So bloodhounds are phenomenal, and when one of these inmates does choose to escape from that location, those resources hopefully will be available to us to get right on to the location. The last escape from the California Institute for Men was in 2018. We did not have access to aerial support on that evening, and I'm confident if we had, we would have found that inmate inside the footprint of that perimeter prior to him carjacking a guard locally and escaping. So that being said, I look forward to hopefully the council will advance those resources and just provide our local community with a higher level of public safety service and support to keep our residents safe when the time comes.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that Chino will have their own helicopter, then the mutual aid from Ontario, that'll increase the size.
Yes, it will help us tremendously in the
Yeah.
west end of the region.
Yeah, that,
As you know, the sheriff's office is heavily tasked with other duties as far as search and rescue, and it's a very big county. It is extremely difficult to get aviation support
Right.
on the west side of the county.
Right.
So hopefully this will all work out well for us, and in 18 months to 2 years, we'll be able to provide those services to our community.
okay.
And, mutual aid to other people as necessary.
I promise I won't mention it next month. Okay.
Oh, if you do, that's fine. I'll just keep fighting the good fight, sir. Thank you.
That's all we ask.
Next, we have Vice Mayor Art Bennett from the city of Chino Hills, who is here, and no comment tonight, correct?
No comment tonight, I'm all tucked out.
And do we have a representative from the Chino Valley Fire Foundation who would like to address the board?
Just a very quick comment. I need to recognize Alma because just the work that she did was incredible on the foundation, and she hates crowds, she hates being here, and she wasn't here tonight, but without giving the due to Alma, we would be remiss, so I wanted to do that. Plus, I wanted to extend an invitation to everyone here to attend the Last Ride Home. It will be at 0800 at McCoy's for Mark Verini. It'll be a great event. We're going to recognize 4 retirees that morning, so I'd love to see you all there.
Saturday.
Saturday, sorry.
This Saturday?
Yes, this Saturday, 8 o'clock at McCoy's. Thank you.
Next, Chair Charlie Blank from the Fire Safe Council. Oh, no comment? Thank you. That concludes our liaison reports for tonight, and next we have the consent calendar.
All right, do we have any public comments on the consent calendar?
We have no request to speak on the consent calendar.
All right, do any board members wish to pull an item from the consent calendar? Seeing none, look for a motion. Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Howie, a second by Vice President Ramos Evinger. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries 5-0.
The next section of our agenda is new business. Item number 7, resolution number 2024-11, approving the fiscal year 2024-25 agreement with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. Purpose is for the Board of Directors to review, approve, and adopt resolution 2024-11, approving the agreement. Number 3, CA 06935 with CAL FIRE from July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. And the report tonight is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Good evening again. As the board's well aware, we maintain a contract with CAL FIRE for supplemental wildland fire protection services in the district. That contract runs fiscal year and it's getting ready to term out June 30. So staff has worked to procure a new contract to extend through the next fiscal year. Agreement number 3CA06935 is proposed to cover 12,000 acres at a total cost of $572,786.16. Just as note, the base rate has increased from the previous year. It was previously $36.45 per acre. Now it's at $42.58 per acre. Understanding those are based on a calculation from CAL FIRE for their total suppression costs. It's a general breakdown between the general fund, reimbursement, and the unit costs. The administrative rate has remained at a constant at 12.1%. As I mentioned, that $42.58 per acre is the acreage times $12,000 essentially. With that moving forward, I can read the recommendation. It is recommended that the board review, approve, and adopt resolution number 2024-11, approving agreement number 3CA06935 with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, otherwise known as CAL FIRE, from July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025, authorizing the board president to sign and execute the agreement on behalf of the district and provide direction to staff. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item.
Okay, thank you. It's time for the board to comment. Director DeMonico.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite my tongue on a lot of the things I've said in the past. My feelings are still the same, but have we looked at reducing the acreage at all this year?
We have, do some development over on the Chino side and with some adjustment. We've had a couple of fires recently that were not in the contract, but because of our mutual threat zone, we were able to get some initial help. We had some additional staff costs on the backside, so we did make some adjustments to the shape of the contract. We decreased it by 3 acres this year. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but because of how that's developed and the other areas that we needed to include for future, that's where we arrived at the 12,000 acres.
Okay. Is there a possibility that we can reduce acreage that's in the mutual threat zone?
That's always a possibility. The challenge we have there is that so the mutual threat zone, if you can imagine in the map that's in the packet, a mutual threat zone extends up to basically a mile outside the boundaries of the contract. Based on where our current wildland threat is, we've weaned that down to about the minimum size we can and still maintain that mutual threat zone around the actual contract. We're in an interesting situation where, because of the governance lines of the city and the district, we have areas that are beautiful areas, vegetation areas within the district, but again, they're within the district, and because of that reason, they're deemed local responsibility areas, so they're our responsibility to provide fire protection for. So that's a long answer to a short question. In fact, at this point, any adjustment we make, we run the risk of exposing more of that wildland area to being unprotected from that mutual threat zone. So without any other large-scale action, we're right about where we're at, minus any further development.
And my last question is have we opened up any dialogue with the city of Chino Hills in regards to the acreage that's within the city limits that's part of this CAL FIRE contract that would not be part of this CAL FIRE contract if they were not in the city of Chino Hills?
I'll weigh in on this, Director DeMonico. Not formal conversations. We've had regular conversations probably over the last year, informal, just about trying to understanding that the city's position, if they would have any concerns with respects to their boundaries being reduced or changed. I think ultimately the conversations from that point would have to probably go back to LAFCO, likely get some interpretations from some legal folks, and then we did get that paper probably, it's been about 2 years now. I think I gave, if you don't recall that paper, if I didn't give it to you, I can get it to you. There was a short synopsis written by our legal team to indicate they weren't certain that it could go well if we did that. Ultimately, I think the position is that someone has to take care of it, and who would that be? And would we likely get the support we needed at LAFCO to make those kind of adjustments? And ultimately, that's where it would have to go, because someone would still have to be responsible.
Yeah, I'd like to see us pursue that, because the money that we're spending here would be much better spent if we could put it back into the community. And that's my concern with this is money that if we could put it back into the community, I think we would be better off. But unfortunately, this is an insurance policy that we're paying for, that money could be better served with us than giving it to the state. I have no further comments.
Director Howie.
No, I have no comment.
Director Krieger.
Yeah, my comments are similar to John's. I think that we do need to look closer at what steps we can partner with the city of Chino Hills to move boundaries, if at all possible. And if there's a legislative action that needs to be taken, then Tom and I are more than happy to jump in to lead that as well. And Jeremy, just out of reference for everybody, because we do have this contract in place, the Blue Ridge Fire
Correct.
Costs approximately how much overall for that fire?
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. And a side note, the chief and I have continued to ask the questions, not only of the city, but also with our state representatives. I had a conversation recently with the South Region Chief for CAL FIRE. He wears a couple stars. He works at South Ops in Riverside. Had a conversation about this very thing. One of the challenges with discussions of essentially shrinking our area is that it's not a correct assumption that the state would automatically take over that land. In fact, the state is working in other areas of the state to turn current land that's SRA and push that back on local government. So again, it's a complicated discussion, but to answer your question directly, so the Blue Ridge Fire actually had 13,724 acres burned. Of that 13,724, 10,506 were within our jurisdiction. That's broken down. There was 4,000 of that was within our wildland contract. The rest was actually in our local area. So of the roughly $14 million for total suppression costs for the Blue Ridge Fire, if we had not had our contract, we would have been responsible because that was calculated at what they call a dollar per acre agreement. So what they do is they take the acres burned and they divide it up with how much dollars it was spent based on the jurisdiction. So 10,506 of the 13,000 were in our district. That was 76%. So we would have been on the hook for 76% of $14 million.
Even though that would have been a threat, a threat to SRA?
Correct, only in the fact that the only properties that's currently deemed SRA is not within the city limits, not within our county. It's over in Orange County and Los Angeles County.
That SRA land would have been a threat. They would not have covered that because of, my understanding of the system is if it's a threat to SRA, they pay.
That is correct, sir. Currently, even, I think you might be referencing the state park. The state park is not currently deemed SRA because it's within the city limits and the district boundaries. So there is SRA, but it's actually in Orange County and LA County. Yeah, the part that's carved out of that portion of our contract, because it was covered by our contract, again, we would have, through that arrangement, that negotiation, our cost share was much, much less. But again, that was part of that complex part of the issue was that even though it's a state park, it's not necessarily deemed SRA for fire protection currently.
And how much did we end up, how much did that fire cost the fire district?
I don't have the number in front of me, but I believe because we also took advantage of what's called an FMAG, which is a fire management assistance grant, which reimburses about 75 cents on the dollar from the federal government back to all parties. I want to say we were below $300,000.
I believe it was right around 300. That's what I recall as well. That's what I was going to say, 3. Director Krieger, if you remember also, as we made our trip up to Sacramento this last go-around, we did make mention of that to our representatives to say if there's an opportunity somewhere, we'd like to, for some consideration or find out how we follow the conversations through. And then I will also let you know that this coming Monday, I am meeting with LAFCO on an unrelated issue, but I plan on weaving this part of the conversation into just find out, how would we approach this should there be an opportunity to.
Excellent, thank you.
Can I just make one further comment before I'm done? The thing that bothers me the most is this is state-owned land, and we're paying them to protect it. And that's what bothers me, and it's bothered
Understood.
me for the entire time I've been on the board. It's state-owned land, and they charge us to protect it. And it's, to me, it's that simple. And
Understood.
I have issues
It's
with
like
that.
prison.
And to the chief's point and Director Krieger's point, perhaps legislative action is the pathway.
Okay, Vice President Ramos Evander.
We have this on our agenda review, and we discussed it, and, it is an insurance policy. I'm looking forward to seeing if we can change anything, but it would have devastated the district financially had we been responsible for that, 75% of the 14. You know, that would have been a huge hit. So as much as we don't like it right now, just like we don't like paying our homeowners insurance, at the cost that they are nowadays, it is a protection to the district. And I look forward to seeing if there's anything further that we could do. You know, thank you for those suggestions. So, thank you.
Just one other question, I think one of the things that's kind of rough is it just keeps going up price-wise. You know, it used to be a lot more manageable, but now it's almost $600,000 a year
Right.
as for an insurance policy that, you know, it seems like a pretty big check to write for that.
Yeah, a lot of that's based on, as we mentioned, those are directly tied to an average of suppression costs through the state. The bigger the fires get, the more it costs.
Yep, I agree with the concerns that have been expressed, and, yeah, we need to continue to pursue those conversations. At this time, I'd like to request a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Director Krieger, second by Vice President Ramos Evanger. All in favor, state by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Reluctantly, aye.
Aye opposed or for?
I'm voting to approve it, but
Okay, thank
reluctantly
you. Okay.
voting to approve it.
Okay, so item carries 5-0. All right, now we're on to the fire chief's comments. Fire Chief D. Williams, please.
Thank you, President Luth. May 20th through the 24th, extend my apologies to the board members that were able to make it. To Ledge Days, I wasn't able to attend, so I appreciate you allowing me to attend CFED with my staff. That's one of my favorite conferences, and we had a very fruitful and great experience there this year. Spent a lot of time with many of the personnel from Chino Valley Fire as well as our partners across the county. On May 5th, our community risk reduction provided fire extinguisher training at Threshold Technologies in Chino. May 14th, staff and I attended the City of Chino's State of the City address. On May 27th, the fire district personnel attended the Memorial Day tribute at the City of Chino. May 29th, the community risk reduction provided fire and life safety presentation at the Fern Academy in Chino. On May 30th, we held our Station 68 groundbreaking ceremony. And I'd like to thank all the staff that were involved in putting together such a wonderful a ceremony for us. On May 18th, Chino Valley Fire Foundation hosted the annual Bike and Hot Rod Show. On June 5th, several staff members attended the Supervisor Hagman's Summer Open House. Also, a special thank you to the Chino Valley professional firefighters for cooking at the event. Under organizational items of interest, on May 15th, I participated in the Section 115 Trust Committee meeting. May 28th, we had a special closed board session meeting. May 28th, again, members of the executive team conducted a tour of the Ontario Fire Department development projects. We gleaned a lot of information we feel will be valuable as we continue to pursue our Station 68 project. On May 30th, the executive team and the command staff had lunch with our firefighter new hires, and shortly we'll be bringing them to a board meeting to make introductions of our 7 new fire personnel. On May 30th, staff conducted the special board meeting and budget workshop. On June 6th, we attended, myself and the executive staff attended the West End JPA meeting. Under human resource update, on June 3rd and 4th, interviews were held for the position of administrative assistant. 17 candidates were interviewed. A conditional offer of employment was made to the top candidate. And once she gets through backgrounds and that process will bring her through, it's a her, correct, Chief Alt? we'll bring her through for introductions to the board. Under emergency response and support, crews attended the wildland fire training for all personnel. The month of May, we conducted our department ladder testing. Also in the month of May, crews participated in the annual county preparedness drill in Colton. And our new recruits again started on May 29th. Under upcoming meetings and events, July 13th, we have a quarterly meeting with the city of Chino Hills. On June 16th, it's a happy Father's Day for all you fathers. June 19th, we have a quarterly meeting with the city of Chino. On June 21st, we have a check presentation from Assembly Member Chen for the Station 68 project. On June 25th, we have the COM Fire Special Administrative Committee meeting. On June 27th, the San Bernardino County Fire Association meeting will be held in Big Bear. Myself and the command staff will be attending. On June 29th, Assembly Member Freddie Rodriguez's open house event. On July 4th, administration will be closed for the holiday. And on July 9th, CON Fire EMS Division Subsidiary Committee meeting will be held. And under CON Fire items of interest, CON Fire is currently working through the process to secure a new director. And then also, as I mentioned last board meeting, EMS nurse Parham continues to finalize the steps in hiring an ECS nurse manager. And I'm looking forward to having her back here. We're talking June 23rd, I believe is our date. 24th? June 24th. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Now it's time for board comments. Director DeMonico.
Yes. I attended the IEUA and San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors meeting with nothing to report. Attended CSDA legislative days and was really, they put on a great event every time they do that, but also had, got to spend some time with our lobbyists, with Jaime and Jason, and it was good to spend some time with them. Attended our groundbreaking for Fire Station 8, long time coming, glad we had a groundbreaking. Rita did a phenomenal job putting that on. Attended the budget workshop. Attended the car show, tried to get 2 cars there. One wouldn't start in the morning and the other one had a dead battery when it was over, so I think I need to spend more time with my cars and take better care of them. And also attended the Chino State of the City. But I'm looking here, and tonight we recognized 185 years of service. 150 with 5 members with 30 years of service each. That's incredible, and I think it's just amazing to see that. But congratulations to all our recipients, Gina, Greg, Mark, Scott, Jeff, Richard, Steve, and Mark. And thank you all for your service. But the 185 years, that's just incredible of what we recognize tonight. Thank you all, and happy Father's Day to everybody.
All right. Director Howie.
Thank you. Well, it's been a very busy month. I've attended all the meetings, the workshops, so much of all of the different things that we attended. But I just wanted to just say, obviously, congrats to our honorees tonight. That was amazing. That one presentation, I still can't get over how great that was. Let's see. I want to say happy 4th of July to everybody, please. To our members, go easy on the fireworks this year. I know that's kind of a nice plea, but try to do that. And also, I just want to say that Chief Williams will be installed as president on next Monday for the Rancho Chino Rotary Club. So congratulations to you. Dave, looking forward to that. That concludes my comments.
Miss a meeting?
Your boss encouraged you.
Director Krieger.
I attended many of the same things that everybody else did, and congratulations to all of our honorees tonight. Mark really set the bar high for retirements for the rest of the crew, but really special. It was great to see everybody get honored tonight. As I mentioned, I attended many of the other things. Went by the firefighter with a coffee event last Saturday. That was great to talk to people. I also went out to Prado Park right after that. There was a county family fish derby that had about 2,000 people there, 50 booths, including our fire district had a booth out there. So that was nice to go by. Chino Hills adopted their budget for next year, so it was good to see where they're putting some new monies. The school district is moving their district headquarters. They are doing it over several weeks, but they've already started that process. Kids are out of school, so drive safe, please. Attend the Hagman Open House, and I had coffee with Phil Chen last week just to keep good relations and stay in touch with him. So we talked about the Station 68 project, and I shared some thoughts that he had with the chief already. The car show was fantastic, the Fire Foundation car show. And the fire station groundbreaking was spectacular. I'm looking forward to actually breaking ground now. That's it.
All right, Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Okay. Attended the agenda review meeting and the items around tonight's agenda. Of course, I had a couple Chino Hills council meetings, a fire safe council meeting. Thank you, Charlie, for always attending. Had my monthly meeting with the chief. I went to CSDA Ledge Days, the bike and hot rod show, which was awesome. The City of Chino Memorial Day event, and that's always an excellent event, and I'm glad that we go, and many community members support that. We had our special meeting, Station 8 groundbreaking. It was fabulous, and thank you to not only Rita but everyone else who was involved. I know Rita orchestrated a lot, but it was fabulous. It was wonderful. Thank you guys, everybody, for that. I also had a CSTA professional development and member services meeting, and I want to congratulate Mark and the group for the GFOA award for 2023. Again, how many years is that in a row? I mean, we're just knocking it out of the park. Thank you very much. We just keep, achieving that. Thank you. A lot of hard work goes into that and ensuring that we continue that. Thank you. And all the presentations, John, you named them all, so I'm not gonna rename. And just our, one thing that we forgot about, our 5-year service awards, so congratulations to them. And I wanna wish all my guys up here a happy Father's Day. You guys are great, and I wish you all a fabulous, fabulous day on Sunday. And that's all, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah,
And
like,
out there as well, sorry, all the dads.
a lot of the same stuff, Chino meetings, the groundbreaking was great. Yeah, and Rita certainly deserves some credit, but I saw there's a lot of people in this room I saw helping. I'm sure they were preparing, but I saw staying late, picking up, including the chief, picking up chairs and getting everything packed up and cleaned up. And so thank you everyone who had anything to do with that. It turned out wonderfully, and so appreciative to everybody's efforts. The budget workshop, Supervisor Hagman's open house, agenda meeting, the Chino Memorial Day. Yeah, it's always so well done, and a little different this year, and it was really neat. We've done it different ways, where we've had the different services come in and go over to their memorials, but this year we recognized the different wars. Very nice, very well done. Had a CIW meeting, and yeah, I was aware of what Marina was gonna do, and it just came off spectacular. His wife, I don't think had a clue, certainly not based on the way she reacted. That was so good. So thank you for that idea, and yeah, that was just wonderful. And congratulations to all the other retirees and service awards. All right, with that, this meeting will be adjourned to a regular meeting of the Board of the Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District to be held on Wednesday, July 10, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Fire District Administrative Headquarters located at 14011 City Center Drive, Chino Hills, California 91709. With that, we are adjourned.